afternoon. It's a little bit dark in here, but I just did a video on a wine. It is a Cabernet. You'll have to check it out. I decided because last night I watched a Dateline episode that was on Tylee and Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow. I did not realize all the details in this crazy crime. And of course I do have my wine. So I'm trying to get back to my crime reviews. So I did write notes. I do have a little time. So I figured that this being one of the newest crimes, I know there's other crimes, of course, with the Black Lives Matter and things like that, but this involving children and just the webs of deceit and all that's involved in this is craziness. Last night I could not get it off my mind. Then today when I had time to do my wine review, I was like, I want to do that while I'm thinking about it. And I want to look up some notes because I did see it on Facebook and I was aware that they were missing, but I did not know that they just got found, their bodies, on June 10th. I'll be right back. I'm going to turn the TV down a little bit, so I'll be right back. Okay, so let's see. Found June 10th. They've been missing since September 2019. So they were basically found 9 months later. So much has gone on with my life, health-wise, personally, and then this virus that I am definitely behind on some things. Okay, so the first one that was missing, I believe, was Tylee around September 8th, and a lot of people thought things happened at the Yellowstone Park, I believe, was the last picture of her taken and when she was last seen. And her mother and everyone was saying that she went to some university, but I don't remember the name of the university. So that's how they kind of got by with that for a little bit. And then JJ Vallow, I believe it was closer to like actually Tylee's birthday, because her birthday happens to be September 24th like mine. And I believe she was going to be 17 last September, so she would have been 18 this year. Which is very upsetting. She had a very close relationship with JJ Vallow. It seemed like she was a kind of like a mother figure, and it's very upsetting because JJ was adopted, and then all this goes on. Crazy times. So let's see. And I'm trying to think of where to start because I thought the Chris Watts case was crazy and had a lot of twists and turns and things involved. There's a lot of people dying around here, and supposedly of natural causes, which are very questionable. So, dark religious beliefs that may have led to their tragic end. Their mother, Lori Vallow Daybell, refused to give any info, which seems to scream guilty to me. Then they found them buried on Chad Daybell's property, her new husband, which was her fifth husband. That kind of is some red alarms, rings some bells, which was in Idaho. And I do believe they moved Lori by him with the kids prior to all this. But then when she got arrested for desertion, he moved back to his property. And he started having a lot of bonfires, and they put two and two together about it, and with all the text messages, and I think they're investigating, they had the notion to go dig up the property, and that's where they found Tylee and JJ Vallow. Bless their souls. Poor children. So, before we go into more of that, the first death, even though I do believe there was a death before that, because I believe that J.J. Vallow's real father died, and I believe it was a heart attack, which is another thing that is weird, because a lot of these natural causes seems like there's something that someone figured out that might not be detectable, or they just haven't figured out yet. So the first says was Charles Value, her fourth husband. Lori claims her brother Alex Koch, another player in this weird string of events in this crime, her brother, shot in self-defense during an argument, but it's still questionable because there's multiple inconsistencies in their stories. Then Cox dies of natural causes in December of 2019, which would have only been a few months or so after the kids were missing. That ties together as well. But it does say that the cops are still investigating about Cox's death because it says it's natural causes, but it kind of seems weird because they found out recently that his phone pinged by and on the property of Chad Daybell's the stepfather, her fifth husband. His property, his phone pinged there around Tylee's disappearance and death. Then it pinged again around JJ's disappearance and death. So that's weird. And let's see. Tammy Daybell, Chad's former wife, who died in her sleep 2 weeks before they married. Her body's been exhumed. I saw that on Dateline. And I don't think they have the evidence yet. But perhaps that will help with some other deaths in this Bizare case. And then Melanie Gibb was the main person on there last night at Dateline. She was Lori's, they became friends in 2018 with their religious beliefs in the church. She saw the budding relationship with Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow Daybell blossoming, even though they were still both married. Then she started telling Melanie that both kids turned to zombies, and Melanie said that a lot of people started turning to zombies that seemed to disappear or die. So, and she said her kids were hard to handle, and that idea was put in her head by Chad Daybell. And then Chad Daybell has written some religious books about end times and Left Behind or Apocalypse or something to that extent. I mean, this case is better than anything that could be made up. You just can't write this stuff. So, she's in jail for desertion, and Chad's in jail for concealing evidence. Alex is dead. Like I said, his phone's pinged property where they were buried. No one's charged yet. They're still investigating. It's still ongoing. They did say that Chad Daybell texted his wife and she was still alive when J.J. Vallow was missing and being buried or whatever, because he said he was going to bury a raccoon in the pet cemetery. I guess so she didn't get suspicious. And then recent news, as well as with Alex's pings of his phone on the property, are that one body was, the head was dismembered and wrapped in plastic. The other body, which was in the pet cemetery, was wrapped in plastic and duct tape. See, I already know which body, even though what I just watched said one body. Last night they said JJ was buried in the pet cemetery because that was the time that Chad texted Tammy, his wife. So obviously, Tylee, she had her head dismembered and wrapped in plastic. I don't know what kind of religious people think that that's okay. Think that's what God, Jesus, anybody wants them to do. That's crazy. And then I did not write this down, but I remember this from last night. Chad Daybell says he's been reincarnated like 6 or 7 times, I believe. and that he was the oldest man in the Bible. I don't remember his name, someone else, and then he was also Martin Luther King reborn. Crazy, crazy, crazy. When crazy meets crazy. So, I thought that 2019 and 2020 couldn't get any weirder. I mean, yes, Shanann's thing happened in 2018, August, almost been 2 years ago, but I just really can't believe how bizarre these cases and these twists and turns have became, especially with kids involved, and then adultery and cheating. And then even Melanie, her friend, said that she thought it was about religion, which it was kind of, but it was more about the money. That's another thing that seems to be everybody's motive. I know, because it's my family's motive. I do believe I will be revisiting this case again. Like I said, I knew somewhat about it. I was not aware that it was so bizarre and that they had just found the kids. I mean, I guess at least they found the kids so there could be a proper burial and everyone knows, because some people didn't know if they were still alive or not. But just how can you do that? How can you go along with that? And then I got to thinking, well, I wonder if, see, I can't remember exactly what I was thinking, and I should have wrote it down. I wonder if the reason why the brother is killed is because he was involved, but he really didn't realize he was involved until it was all said and done, because maybe they were just like, oh, come bury some of this things on my property, and he just kind of realized afterwards, because Melanie did say maybe he died of guilt. We don't really know for sure what he died of yet, but the whole thing seems a little bit too convenient that everyone they know just starts dying off. And now it makes you wonder, are they going to get by with it if they cannot actually prove it? And what if it was the brother that did it and they gave him money for it per se, or he didn't realize? I don't know. It makes you wonder. So I definitely will be revisiting this case. May Tylee and JJ rest in peace. May they get justice.